Welcome one more day to Life in Armonía. We are already finishing this 2023 year, and I think it's important to make some reflections, not just on this year that we are finishing, but generally on our situation on Earth as a species, as beings that must grow, and obviously personally. Because as Mr. Socrates said in ancient Greece, an unexamined life is not worth living. So we have to ponder on how we are growing and what we are doing here, not just on Earth as a species, but in our particular situation, in the family, in our social group. Because we came here with a global purpose as a species and also with personal, individual purposes. We have to develop our talents, our different intelligences, not just intellectual intelligence, but emotional intelligence, sensory motor intelligence. To grow fully means to bring a deeper meaning from life, expressing all the loving light that we can, bringing healing, bringing light to this dark world. And each one of us does it in a different way because we are different. We are unique. We have different talents. Some of them are not even appreciated by people because they think they have things that are not a talent. But to me, sensitivity or empathy are talents. And some people are very empathic or sensitive, but they have brainwashed to think that is weakness. I have recently met a patient, a person that came for help to my consultations, and she was so devalued, lacking not just self-esteem, but a sense of hope for life. And obviously, that is the root of some of the depressions and health problems she is experiencing. So it's important to examine our life fully, not just physically, but also in a soul and a spiritual level. No? The soul is the manifestation of a type of a spirit, of focus, depending on the deep visions and ideas that we have. The emotions and thoughts we are going to have are going to be different. And those thoughts and emotions are going to manifest certain words mentally. We are going to speak them, and we are going to become involved in certain actions, and these actions are going to generate certain habits. And from habits come certain types of character or personalities that in many ways are destructive. But the root is always in our vision, our force, the spirit running the show in ourselves. So we have to take care of what we allow into our mind, into our heart. Actually, there is a wonderful teaching on this, which I already published in the other channel, in Armonía. It says, watch your thoughts because they become your words. Watch your words because they become your actions. Watch your actions because they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character because it becomes your destiny. This is attributed to Lao Tse, the author of the Tao Te Ching, the main Taoist work. And I think it's very enlightening because it sees all the chain of cause and effect within ourselves. And precisely this awareness that includes all the movement inside until it manifests outside is represented with the energies 7 and 8, which are actually the energies running 2023 and 2024. As I said last year, 2023 sums up 7. And this is obviously a matrix which has cultural connotations, but we can interpret it in a way that is beyond a particular culture, because the cycles of space-time are not relative to one culture. But if we take into account the energy running the Western culture, we will see that the energy 7 and the energy 8 are very dominant. So these 2 years, 2023 and 2024, are a special transition, so to say. In this 2023, we have been working on introspection, inner work or outer work, growth. Everything grows in 7 steps. Even our week is structured in 7. And it has to do with organizing, with moving energy, setting ourselves into motion. And this aiming towards something which is going to bring abundance. And abundance is precisely the characteristic of the energy 8. 8 is the symbol of infinite, and infinite abundance must manifest in the physical plane. But in order to manifest fully, we must set energies into motion and somehow open the paths through which those energies are going to flow. Economically, socially, on a health level. Therefore, we have to work to prepare the ground so those manifestations take place. And this work is not just by mere force or by applying techniques or methods. It's bringing an harmony. We are establishing equilibrium between the spirit, the soul, the body, when we are on the path of life, obviously. If we are just believing the physicalist or even pseudoscientifically conception of life that we are presented with quantum mechanics and these toys that today are very popular, where we are missing the whole point. Because our true being is not quantum, is not physical, is nothing that we can express with the ridiculous maths and sciences used by the so-called scientists. There is a science of true wisdom and true development, but it has nothing to do with popular science, so to say. And true science has to do with a holistic growth that can bring not only meaning to the whole universe and our whole experience, but a transformative light that somehow is manifesting the abundance of the infinite, of the holy realm that is infused with the loving essence of the primordial source down to the earth. Actually, when we are consciously aware of our true being, we are no longer imperfect beings working to become perfect beings or struggling to be forgiven by some God somewhere. No, we are full perfection coming into this world, because only perfection can embrace this world. So in order to be fully, you have to assume your perfection fully. And this was the teaching of Master Isho, teaching that almost no one is getting, even in spiritual circle, because they are still in the old paradigm, old Adam paradigm, but he brought the new Adamic paradigm. I am the light of the cosmos, and you are the light of the cosmos. And if you are really my disciples, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. He didn't say that teaching is for everyone. No, if you understand my teaching, and if you are my true disciples, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Because we are liberated by our true being, and that being is full. It lacks nothing. So, true abundance, which has to do precisely with that infinite energy represented by 8, comes from within. It has nothing to do with working hard to receive a salary and make investments and earn more money. Okay, those are the ways of this society. But I'm not suggesting that true abundance comes that way. I'm not suggesting either we have to forget about money. Money is a necessary step in this society, but it depends on the intentions and on the way you use money. If you use money just for yourself, then you are just following the paths of this world. Now, if you use money in order to develop yourself and help others and bring more abundance for others, that is different, because you are playing with the rules of this world without being from this world. The true kingdom of heaven is within you. So our mission is to bring that abundance from within in a different way, not the ways of religion, of society, of politics. We have to be the difference. And that difference is expressed in family, in relationships, in the way we communicate the truth. As you can see, in this channel, I'm not proposing any religious doctrine or following any guru or supposed master. I have had mentors, wise men from which I learned a lot. But to me, the true master is the divine cosmic brain, which in Hebrew was called Mashiach, which means the brain of existence. Yes is existence, and Moach is brain. So the combination of those two words gave Mashiach, from which the unfortunate word Messiah came. Because Messiah is a master of the mess, of chaos. And we are not looking for mess. We are recovering ourselves from a state of chaos, bringing order, especially from within. Because if we are coherent within, then abundance is going to flow outside. Therefore, in order to grow in the health and economy, we have to be very clear about what kind of intentions we have, what kind of thoughts are we allowing into ourselves, what kind of emotions. The union of intention, thoughts, emotions, and also the way we move energy by means of action is going to determine the kind of reality we are going to attract. The circumstances are going to be shifted depending on how we vibrate inside. You might think this is similar to the law of attraction, but the difference is that when people speak about the law of attraction, they do it in a very selfish way. They say, no, you have to focus on your thoughts and your desires. You have to modify your unconscious to manifest the reality you wish. But we are not here to manifest what we wish, but to manifest our true being. Because your wish might not be aligned with your true being. Be careful with what you wish, because it can become true. And once it becomes true, you might be facing some responsibilities that you didn't expect. He who is given a lot is demanded a lot. And he who cannot be faithful in something little cannot be faithful in something greater. This is in the parable of talents and in other parables. He who has and makes more with what he has will be given. But he who keeps the very little he has for himself will lose everything. Because we have to expand not just our light, but our material condition. In religion is the opposite. You are a sinner, you are depending on God and obviously on politicians. And if you have to support a war for political and religious aims, so be it. That has been the ABC of human history. So it led to the situation we are living. People don't realize that true abundance has to do with manifesting your abundance responsibly, taking responsibility of what you have and multiply your richness, not randomly, but with a very clear idea of how you want to bring light in this world. What is your role in society? This is why I don't support the idea of anarchy or being without a social structure or against the system. Because many people get pissed off with society and obviously they see everything is collapsing and has very little value, but they move to the opposite extreme. They say, well, now I don't depend on society, I will and live in the woods or in my community or wherever, and I try to sabotage society. Or I build my own society and take control over the others. That is totalitarianism, communism, and all the isms of politics. No? They have an idea of what the ideal state should be, and they try to impose it on others. Well, those are expressions of abuse of power, which has to do precisely with the energy 8. Therefore, in order to understand what we have to do when we are dealing with energies like 7 or 8, is what is true work, true inner work, what is true management, conduction of energy, and what is growth and protection as well, and justice. Those three aspects, protection, justice, and abundance, are the key in the energy 8. Actually, the path 8 in the Sephirotic tree, which goes from Hesed to Geburah, from Geburah to Hesed, mercy, force, mercy, is the path 8. And the equilibrium of those spheres is called beauty or Tiferet, which is the harmonia between different aspects. And when we bring true harmonia, then we manifest true compassion. But in this triangle of mercy, force, and beauty, we have to take into account that it's possible to fall into the negative side of each sphere. So if we have mercy, we can fall into the side of being too merciful with ourselves or self-indulgent, even with others. We can be tolerant or to some extent indulgent with others, but we must establish limits. We have to tolerate, but not without a limit. Otherwise, some people will try to take advantage on us, and we cannot tolerate that. There must be a limit. Some people have problems with that, establishing limits. So next year will be very important to establish our limits, to develop a protection, take care of what we allow into our mind, our heart, our physical body, take responsibility for our actions. All that has to do with the energy 8. And we will have to take care of how we use the economy. Money should be always in service of the world, even how we eat. I personally don't indulge myself in overeating. I eat very little. And even though I keep myself healthy and strong, because I also teach ontodynamics, in which we use certain physical exercises. And I realize that the way I eat is connected to the way I work. So I don't eat just anything because I am responsible for my being here on earth, and I need to be somehow active and full of vitality in order to help others. I didn't came here for myself. I came here for serving others, and I give my life to others. So all I receive is to express myself fully, be it music, be it courses of inner growth, be it these channels. I have 3 channels active and a blog which is bilingual. So I work with all my potentiality and I try to depend on that. Sometimes I receive more money, others less, but I always try to invest everything in the light. Even the instruments I buy, the lute, the flutes, are for a purpose of bringing light, expressing the true beauty and true love for the divine. Therefore, when you have that mindset, the universe conspires to help you in that regard. And I promise I never ever lack anything. Even when I was playing on the streets on Ireland, I was able to live with very little. My focus was somehow out of harmonia because I didn't need to suffer that much. But at that time, I had to learn several lessons, and the universe led me that way. But I learned a lot, even crossing tremendous health problems from which I came alive. And because of all that, I became able to guide others or to help others get out of their problems. Right now, I'm working with a woman that is going through severe physical problems and depression. And obviously, I know that because I have experienced it. So we have to be responsible also with what we experience, because from what we learn, we can also help others. And as an ancient saying says, he who helps himself is helped by God, by the providence, or the providence helps he who helps himself. Because we have to help ourselves receive the help is already coming. That is very tricky, because when we are in victimism or in self-pity, we are just demanding. It's all for me, give me, give me, give me. But the universe is asking, well, I gave you the light. You are the light of the cosmos, Master Isha said. And it's very sad when the so-called Christians or people believing in some form of Christ are in that self-piteous mode and so demanding, please God, give me. No, he gave you everything. What did you do with the light? Are you still going to church to pray for something that you don't have? See, you have everything. You have the source of light and transformation within you. But the guides that you follow are liars. The truth is not in external religion or in some name He's not praying to some Lord. That is not even in the New Testament. Why do you call me Lord, Lord, and don't do what I teach? I call you brethren because the slaves don't know what their Lord is doing. That is said by Master Isha. But religion, external religion, distorted everything. Esoteric religion or inner wisdom is different. And those are nuances. Don't focus just on language. It's a matter of transformation. And in order to have abundance of health, economy, relationships, or expansion, we have to be attuned with the divine kingdom of abundance within and be very clear about what our true intentions are, our true thoughts. Watch your words because they become your actions. Watch your actions because they become your habits. Watch your habits because they become your character. Watch your character because it becomes your destiny. This is very true. Actually, it tracks down the whole process of manifestation from the unconscious with our visions, our belief systems, our convictions, throughout our thoughts, our emotions, our words, our forming character, which attracts the circumstances that we live. Heraclitus of Ephesus said, the character is for man his daimon or destiny. Because the daimon was the spirit that is formed throughout life and it guides you even after death. But that is the nature that we somehow shape with our actions, our thoughts, our emotions, the character that we mentioned earlier. So let's be very responsible for the type of character we are shaping. Your level of being attracts the light you live. That is one of the four-way maxims, actually. But it has a depth. It's not just being physically, but watch your manifestation emotionally, mentally. Because very often what we do is triggered by impulses in the unconscious. So we have to watch, be very careful of what we allow into our mind, our heart. And we have to protect ourselves before this society. I'm not going to say against, because if you are against something, you are creating conflict, duality. So I'm not against anything. I'm just transforming all the circumstances. And obviously I can oppose certain views or certain beliefs, certain lies, but I don't fight them. I transform everything in myself. I say yes to some things, no to others. If I have to argue in front of someone to prove that some argument is wrong, I do it as well. But this is not being against. This is just manifesting the truth. But you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. If you are my disciples, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. If you are my disciples means if you have discipline to become a true follower of your true light, the light you are. Discipline belongs to Gebura, just as force and discernment. Without discipline, discernment, protection, there cannot be true mercy. There cannot be true expansion of joy, blissfulness. So both are interdependent. If you grow in abundance of peace and mercy, it's because you have been able to establish limits and discern the truth from the false. And obviously, that takes place on all levels: health, family, economy. Notice that economy is not just financial, It's not just about money. Economy comes from oikos nomos. Oikos is house, nomos is law. So the way you govern your inner house and outer house, managing activities, energies, is going to determine not just financial economy, but the way you use your energies inside. When we get fully worn out, it's because we have been squandering energy. We have been taught to spend too much time and dedicate too much attention and too much effort to certain things. Because there is a culture of obsessive work, the culture of sacrifice, as it is called. Well, the true sacrifice is the one we make as beings of light coming into this madhouse. I am a perfect being, I lack nothing, and I came here out of love. This is not a theory, I remember it. I was in the light, I was light, and here am I. Obviously, in that process, we lost ourselves. We forgot. Our true light mixed up with these false personalities. And as long as we are not able to cancel the lie, we keep trapped in a world of lies. So we think that we have to struggle with a lot of force in order to get what we really dream of, that we have to depend on politicians, on companies. That's the dynamics. Those are the dynamics infused even in education. People are educated on universities to become robots. They are not taught to grow fully because those in power are not interested in the growth of people. Everything must be controlled. And because of certain beliefs, people develop certain fears that move them to act in a very self-destructive way. They little by little encapsulate themselves in a square box, watching TV and hoping that at the end of their working life, they will be able to receive some money from the state because they have been paying taxes. In some countries, there will be no pensions, probably, because the government spent all the taxes on prostitutes, on private jets, five-star hotels, luxury restaurants. So now they are increasing the taxes. Here in Spain, we are living something very curious. It's a country whose debt in Europe is unsurmountable. Spain will not be able to pay the debt, never, ever, because it has been rescued by Europe many times, and most of the workers are state workers. That's why people keep voting some party or other. They're all the same. It's corruption all over. They control most of the working companies, and the economy goes down. The devaluation of Spanish economy is increasing. We will probably become like Argentina, in short. While Argentina supposedly is now under another different policy with Milei, we will see what he's able to do. But in here, we have the typical socialist regime in which people become more and more poor, they work more and more, they pay more and more taxes, while Europe obviously is pissed off with Spain, but Europe is also experiencing some devaluation and bubbles. One clear case is Ireland. They might be growing in certain areas, but they have a housing crisis, there are no homes, or they are very expensive. and many people cannot afford a house. So that increases problems of drug addiction, alcoholism, which is fostered by their culture. I was there and I saw it myself. So it's a snake that bites its own tail. And there are, let's say, entities that look like humans that feed on that. People think they have conscience, but once you are in power, you have no conscience. You are just like a chunk of meat governed by certain spirits, diabolical spirits that try to feed on others by imposing their rules. And there is no way we can escape that cycle of destruction unless we manifest our true light. That is our protection. Complaining or insulting or fighting against the system will not lead anywhere. Because many people do that. They get angry and they start to rant against all politicians or ideologies, and even speak about the control of evil extraterrestrials and many other things, which in a certain sense exist, but we don't depend on what they do. Actually, if you have true light inside, you are immune, but you have to manifest it. You have to be cogent, coherent, not just wish for something great and then behave like the rest of people. The keys of growth have to do, first of all, with your intention, non-selfish intention. Second, with the longing to receive what you are, to manifest what you are in order to help others. And third, the full conviction that you already have it, that you have been given. As Master Kisho said, if you believe in what I teach, well, you shall tell the mountain move and the mountain will move. Actually, everything we see is moving. There is nothing in a stillness or rigid. All is flowing. And if what you ask for is something that you already have inside, because it belongs to your kingdom, then the universe will be able to reach you with whatever resources you need, because you are not developing stumbling blocks. Most of our blockages come from our belief systems and our negative emotions, our lack of vitality. So we have to get rid of all the obstacles within to manifest outside. Once we become clear within, then even certain sensations of discomfort don't appear. Certain emotions of despair, of sorrow, self-pity are completely absent. There is no depression. And negative thoughts, pessimism, self-criticism, self-deprecation, ranting against society, that is absent as well. Because you feel full in a world of chaos. Because we are not from chaos. We came to chaos to bring order. Not for everyone, because not everyone is ready for true light. Only those who need it and who deserve it, in a sense, will be able to receive it. Therefore, don't try to convince anyone. Don't try to impose this to anyone. Just be what you have to be from the fullness of your true being. And everything shall come as it has to manifest with all the resources that you need. Not expecting a savior externally or a new policy or some new law by the government that will benefit you. We have to be clever. That is important. Some people might decide to move from their country because in other places taxes are lower. Well, that is a clever action, but you have to manifest intelligence in greater ways, not just depending on something external. If you move somewhere, move with the conviction that you are going to be able to bring light and to help others. Don't move just for yourself. Now, I don't want to extend myself much more. Remember that in 2024, the energy age is going to be very intense, so we will have to be responsible for our actions, our thoughts, our protection, our manifestation of abundance, our discipline, our compassion. And in everyone will be different because the energy age resonates in a different way with everyone. But we have different spirits running the show. Some people might have unclean spirits or unclean characters. So let's be very responsible for the type of character we are shaping. So if we want abundance of health, economy, enlightened relationships, expansion of our true talents, we must manifest it already, even if it's little by little, with a character that is not run by a crazy, psychopathic and sociopathic society. Therefore, I hope you have an enlightened ending 2023 and development of 2024. Let's keep watching our mind, our heart, cleaning the mind from negative thoughts, polishing the heart, the mirror of the heart, so we can manifest the true love without limits, life without fragmentation, true integral conscience, and deep blissful serenity.